How it do, how it be, how it is, everybody. Welcome in and welcome back. We are returning this fine day to Windfall. This Western, almost Victorian, late Victorian vibe. It's a very strange campaign. Lots of horrific and terrible things. Just a heads up as we're jumping in now. Disclaimer, graphic detail is given to very gory and visceral things. Disturbing imagery is talked about. I'm SirFeffers, the humble dungeon master of the Longshot table, and today I'm very excited to be jumping back into this episode. If you would like to get caught up on the 3 soon to be 4 weekly streamed campaigns, you can head over to the YouTube. And if you would like to get in on the bingo and or join our community, you can head over to the Discord. Let me throw it over to Taco.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Taco. I play Stonks and Stong, and we're gonna go to the bank. Offbeat.
What up? My name is Offbeat Outlaw. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch under that exact same name. I stream every single weekday. Did you know that? That's pretty nice. That's pretty good. That's good value. But I play Yester the Bastard Hawthorne, who has a plan to make everything work out and come up team us. The plan is genius. Dare I say never before heard of. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be swanky.
Swanky.
And I spent a whole 10 minutes thinking of the acronym. Luna.
Hi, I'm LunaWolfSpirit. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram, and I play the Storm player. She's gotta make a decision on how she's gonna proceed with this whole ascension thing. Glad she has the party backing her. But yeah. Jared.
Yo, I'm Jared and Gene. What are we doing? We're going to a bank. At some point, I expect to have to flash a badge. Established a very important coin collection last session.
Porn?
Coin? Tender? Legal tender? Maybe not so legal tender? I don't know what this currency is like across all of... Anyway, Taco, have you gone?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the party sets off towards the Bank of Windfall. Once again, the city is in this subdued state, the capital. The party suspects that many of the individuals running this city, such as the Baron Sandur and the criminal element Crooked Feather, suspect that they are not actually who they are, or if they've been murdered, that they're actually secretly still around. Conspiracy all around us as we make our way through the city. You almost miss the days when vendors would come up and hassle you because it's just too open, too empty, very unusual. But getting closer and closer to the bank, there seems to be more and more noise. People. Rounding a corner, or maybe just taking a peek around a corner to get the lay of the land. Let's get perception checks from the party as you get closer and closer to the cacophony.
19.
15.
19.
Big 11.
Sorry, what'd you get, Sia?
16.
16? Okay. There is a crowd forming at the steps of this big bank. Large, kind of reddish white stone, big pillars, and these ornate steps that kind of go down to the cobbled road. People are seeming to be getting kicked out of the bank. And that's causing more and more people to come out and kind of not necessarily protest, but protest. You know what I mean? Like there's a mob kind of starting to form here. We've seen mobs before in this town. Usually not a great sign. But a lot of potential to be used with a mob. Guards exit the bank and start trying to push people away back down the stairs. Not aggressively, but just trying to form a perimeter. And you can see individuals locking up the doors to the bank. People are getting more and more upset, moving around, yelling. And it seems like they're taking these bits of paper and just throwing them at the guards. You've never seen these bits of paper before.
Can we hear what anyone's like yelling about distinctly? Is there like chanting? Is it just like rabble? And if there is just rabble, is there anybody like, is there any voices that are more distinct?
Yes. You don't catch any particular face to any particular voice, but there's a lot of like, this ain't real money. You don't know what you're doing, you know, and I tell you, there's nothing wrong with gold. Why are we getting rid of gold? You can trust in gold. And people just lighting fire to a pile of these small rectangular slots of paper. And people just kind of stamping on them and throwing a fit. You do. Who rolled the 19?
I did.
You did? You do see one kid. Okay, maybe not a kid, maybe like 19, but younger. Looking around kind of suspiciously and pulling out a Molotov cocktail.
I think of Ziller. And I do nothing.
Okay. The kid looks around.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. I'm gonna cast Fireball wherever the Molotov hits.
Okay. You wow. You watch the kid lean back and hurl this Molotov cocktail at the building. It hits the area in front of the doors, and as it splashes, would you like to roll stealth, or are you just kind of fucking sending it?
I would like to try to be stealth. I'm trying to like, you know how like you shoot the little orange dot? I'm trying to keep that like in the trail of it, of the Molotov.
I
when
see.
you shoot,
Like you're trying to
when you
follow
shoot
the
fireball,
arc of the...
exactly.
I got you.
So that way it looks like one, like the spark is, my magic looks like a spark behind it, and then the Molotov hits, pops, and then detonate.
Then we are gonna roll a sleight of hand, because that would be an impressive feat.
Luckily, I'm somewhat good at these. But I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1?
Plus 6 for a total of 7.
I got bad news. Because that's my job. To deliver the repercussions of the die rolls.
Do I see him casting Fireball?
Yeah,
actually.
Absolutely.
It's a level 3?
What?
You can counterspell
I am going to counterspell that.
I
am going to counterspell you committing an act of perhaps violence on the crowd.
Okay. I cry.
I just look at Stonks and go, "What are you doing?"
Ain't that where we were going?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
get in there
Stonks,
easier. Pick your doors.
No.
Stonks, there are ways to do things. There are ways. You've regressed, buddy. You've
Yes,
regressed.
You taught me that every mob is an opportunity.
You gotta persuade them first. You gotta butter them up to get them on your side. And then we can firebomb a bank. There's a difference.
To emphasize your point, there is one person in this crowd screaming, "Fuck like a bitch!"
I see how this is.
It's a throwback.
Yeah,
if you guys.
Yester is going to try to gain control of the crowd or get their attention.
Oh.
He's going to, with a prestidigitation, amplify his voice.
Okay.
And try to like just scream out over the crowd to silence them, or at least get their attention so he can ask what the hell this is about.
Screaming out certainly gets a lot of attention, but what do you scream and holler?
Yester goes, "Friends! What the hell are we doing?"
They're trying to slip our money into fake money! Holding up this crumpled wad of what we, the players, would see as cash, paper bills.
And what? I've been away. Hi, it is me, Yester Hawthorne. I've been away for some time. I've come with tales, and I've come to help save us from the crime that grips this city. What is happening with this paper fake money, you say?
They
What
want to
is
keep
this?
all of the real money in the bank for the rich folk. These are IOUs. They're not actually worth anything. And there's one guy, the one who's screaming from the old riot, goes, "He's back!"
All right. Yester needs to think about how to play this. Is he pro fiat currency or is he anti fiat currency?
Was there anybody that was pro?
The central bank.
The central bank was very proud of its fiat currency.
I think that
Inflation's pretty proud.
Yeah, I think that's pretty telling.
Makes working off of credit viable and possible.
First, we had these registrations for ownership for our horses. That's just trying to make them pin us down for tax reasons. He spits. For taxes.
Oh, Stonk's libertarian? That's the question.
I feel like Yester's having a hard time figuring out how he's like, no, these guys are actually rioting for like valid reasons and shit, but we need to get in the bank.
The bank does appear to be closed. We all try to get in there and get our money out, and that's why they shut us down.
I see. And these IOUs, how are you supposed to use them? You can turn them into the bank.
No,
and
watch
they
this.
Give you...
He hands it to someone else. Now he's got a dollar, and it was my dollar that was in the bank.
I see.
I elbow Yester. What if we use me as like the representative of the common folk? Like, what if they'll probably let me in because I'm Moneybags McGee, but like, what if I go in on behalf of regular people?
You're right. This is a very complicated situation that will have long-lasting implications on the world as a whole. I feel like we should definitely try to, whatever we can. We should try and take a neutral stance, because I think both options. Because if we stick to the gold standard, what ends up happening is we run out of gold for all of our valuables, and as a result, we eventually increase the pricing value of the currency to the point that we run out of money and that everything becomes unpurchasable. However, the fiat currency will lead to long-standing inflationary practices on behalf of the government unless they do heavy investing into their social services on the lower level.
They won't.
Which they won't, because they're going to trick the common people into thinking that the money will trickle down eventually, instituting a large-scale amount of capitalism, which could result in
Offbeat as
civil
soapbox.
unrest.
It's kind of my bread and butter.
Every time. So I think we should take a neutral stance for now.
Neutral stance doesn't win a crowd. So that makes it just
that's
trickier.
That's if you let them realize it's a neutral stance. I'm gonna lean into the dude. You what politician in the past years has been like on the left side of this has just been a very hard standing fence sitter. I'm gonna be such a good fence sitter, they're not even gonna notice. Friends, I dare say this is some amount of injustice. I dare say this is some amount of great dispute. I say that we seem to be heading towards a future that is unknown and unprecedented with this institution of currency, this paper. This unknown future will be tough to handle, and perhaps, maybe, we will in the future look back on this and wonder if perhaps these unprecedented times were worth it. So I say what we must do is we must hold fast. We must consider, we must think deeply about our stances, about our future, about our people. We must think deeply about where we stand on these complicated issues. And most importantly, we must get to the facts. And for that, I have an idea.
The truth!
I have a representative who can discover the truth of this currency debacle. I will send them into the bank. They will let him in because I dare say I know how to get people places.
Oh!
Yeah.
Skeleton!
Some rumor. There's an immediate, mass huddling. He's rich! How do we know that Stonks fella has all best interests in mind?
They seized my money.
He has your best interest in mind because the bank seized his assets!
They
did the exact same thing to him that they did to you!
They actually run forward, and there's a kind of a scary moment where the mob kind of surrounds the party, and a lot of people start grabbing a hold of Stonks and start bringing him to the front, to the steps, and you have a moment, Stonks, where you're just heading towards this fiery Molotov cocktail floor.
While they're carrying me, I'm gonna yell about they pronounced me dead due to the state of my body and used that as an excuse to seize my money.
Isn't he undead? He's talking though. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How can they pronounce a skeleton dead if he's talking? That doesn't make a lick of sense. This guy's on the straight and narrow, clearly. He is a victim of the system. You are pushed forward. The rest of the party has to kind of weave their way and kind of elbow their way through the crowd. But now everyone's staring at the party as there is before you those white-red marble steps that are on fire, the guards who have parted a little bit but have formed a perimeter around or behind the fire, and the beautiful doors on the other side, and then behind you just a wall of people.
I'll walk up the stairs.
The two guards kind of that are closest to you kind of heft their shields, their riot shields, and kind of get in the way.
Are these
how many? Can I get a
clearly
number?
private security hired by the bank, or are these city guard?
Yeah, is this Wagner Group?
These look to be private security of the bank. One of them goes, "The bank's closed. We're not going to be
no, it
working
ain't.
an operation.
More
We've been
than 10
ordered not
guards,
to
less
let
than 10
anybody
guards."
in." There's 5 guards. Sorry, 6 guards.
You've been ordered
Do all of you want to be tortoises?
I'm sorry.
You've been ordered
do
not
all
to
of you
let
wanna be
anybody
tortoises?
in, even Stonks, who you wrongfully seized the money of.
The guards all kind of look at each other. We don't know anything about that. We just know that the bank's
That's-
closed and people can't come in when it's closed.
I'm gonna look inside. Are there workers still in there?
The only there's no windows in the front, and the two
Okay.
double doors are closed. You can see lights on underneath the doorway, you know. But he goes, "This is the only way to keep the from." No, actually, he's not even that smart. The issue is you're running up against a guy who's just doing his job.
Okay.
I cast mass polymorph,
Okay.
Yeah.
targeting all 6 guards. Get me into the bank.
What level are you
Go
casting
into the
that
bank.
at?
This is a 9th level spell.
It is going to be cast at 8th.
Okay. I can target up to 10. I will target up to 9,
so
and
it
I will
works.
instead choose to target 6
Yeah.
guards. Turn them
okay.
into tortoises.
Oh boy.
Here I go killing again. Wisdom save of 19.
My
Yes,
desktop
sir. You gonna
just
count
decided to make it rain.
I was gonna say, are those birds?
Tough day for rain.
Oof.
Sir, it's not raining. Yes, it is.
Not ready yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were just going through that. Yeah, they well, hang on, I got one more roll. The one guy you were talking to saves and just kind of
Reaction silvery barbs.
yeah, he fails.
Oh, I need to portent. Hold on. I need to roll 3d20.
So, yeah, no worries. So, Offbeat. Yester notices that now that we have no guards in front of the bank, and in fact 5 turtles, they're getting ready to storm. They're getting ready to storm the place. How do you want to? Do you want to stop them? Do you want to focus them? You know, as always,
Yes.
the silver-tongued bard.
Yester's gonna turn around and be like, "Hold, everybody, hold!"
All right, now roll performance or persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
It don't matter. That's a 28.
Yeah, buddy. They
Reds, you cannot just rush the bank when they do things you don't like.
the hell we can.
All right, what you gonna do? You gonna break open the safe
back.
from the safes? With what? With what codes? You guys got tools? You don't. I know you don't.
We got
Because you're
we got a
smart.
couple of horses we could hook the thing up to. Pry that thing right down.
No, it won't, because that horse ain't gonna run. And let me tell you this, it won't work because you're smart. Because you are smart. You know that this wouldn't have worked. This is because you guys understand that what you're doing right here is protesting this currency.
See, that's
this
what I've been
idea.
telling you. We've been protesting.
We protesting. So rather than letting this become a violent riot and raid on the banks, walk through the streets, and I want you to take this currency and throw it all over the place and say how this is nonsense and this is bullshit.
Nonsense.
I want you to say how you feel. Make it known. Let the world know. Make sure that everybody knows how you feel. But don't let them say that you were murdering and breaking into places.
This is what I've been telling you the whole time. You know, the guy who was he's 180s.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? I said we couldn't storm the bank.
Exactly. Now go. Go, I say.
The 5 tortoises have huddled together in fear. And they're just as far away from the fire and the people as they can. So they're just by the door, all kind of like holding each
I
other.
scoop them up. All 5 of them. My children.
No, Stars. That's
No.
All right, let's just open these doors now. are the doors
hand-
locked?
Yes.
I hand one to Jean.
I'm going to
Just
sleight of
absently
hand.
puts it
Can I use my
down.
thieves' tools to try and open the doors?
Absolutely. It's a tall order, though. I'm going to tell you right now, the DC is 19.
I hand.
Well, I got a
tortoise to see.
23.
Whew! Very nice.
We need to have a talk, Stonks. While you were gone, we were given official status in the city.
Huh?
Yeah, Jean's like,
So you
like
could've
Chose the badge of High Marshal or whatever the heck.
Why didn't we just use that?
Well,
you
this is a
acted
privately
very
owned-
quickly.
I've been
So
trying to
we
get to the
have to
bank
cool
for a
it on the
week.
fireballs, okay?
You
Trying to
acted
blow-
very quickly, unlocks the door.
By order of the-
light pours out.
By order of the High Marshal, we would like
Hold
to
on,
speak
above
to all
table,
of you.
Jean. I'm so sorry. You said I hope to show a badge today, and I walked in here and said, no, you don't get to do that.
No, it's fine. That's why I asked if it were private security or city guard. If it were city guard,
Okay.
I would have badged. But
Okay.
it was private security, so I probably don't actually have jurisdiction. Maybe they would have let me in, but I'm not like publicly the High Marshal.
Okay.
It was unless it's been announced since we left.
Lord Marshal, the paper. It's been long enough that the paperwork
High
would have gone
Lord.
through.
Jean Briggs stated as Lord Marshal.
Yeah. I don't know if there was like a public decree, but it would be legitimate.
We
Like a
can make one.
poorly drawn sketch of. Do we have photographs? Is that a thing we have?
Nope.
We have minor image, which I would just go. I would like to make a wax figurine of Jean.
I just wanted the picture to be like of like a crowd and there's an arrow pointing to one like blurry figure in the corner that's Jean. It's the only on file image they have recorded.
It's the same picture that Yester's being like carried around saying "fuck Lucky Bishop" and everyone getting it wrong saying "fuck like a bitch."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You open up the doors, and there's a bunch of it's a mixed crowd, but there's a family of halflings that kind of run this bank. You've met them before. I don't think I ever gave a name, but you can see there's a bit of a stir, and one person who's just got like a box of paperwork just like drops it and goes,
Hold, it's all right. We're not here to raid the bank. The crowd's been dispersed. They've gone away.
putting
You're safe
stuff
now.
together.
We do have questions about some things.
Points nervously at a kiosk, like a teller booth.
All right. Would you like us to lock the doors behind us? All right. Yes, just gonna lock the door behind as everybody enters.
He's gonna, as you turn away, he's gonna quickly move away. Big open area, kind of this gated off, because of the tellers and the bars and stuff like that, making for a smaller area within the big place. You can see past that many tables of people working hard, scribbling away at papers and doing math. And it smells different here. It smells of ink and manufacture. Like, I don't want to say it smells like fresh paper, but it smells like fresh paper. Like they've gone whole hog, and you can see in one corner that fancy new printing press thing that you guys saw last time you were here has been augmented, and they are printing money. And they're working quite hard at it. You can see them trucking away as you guys. There's no line as you move to the teller, who looks up. Oh, hello and welcome. Are you looking to make a deposit? He's sweating.
Well, this might not be the best of times, but it is very important. There's been an error. You see, you guys repossessed the property of one Stonks, but he isn't dead. In fact, he's right
Pulls
here.
out a book.
And
Looks at the
that
skeleton.
money has been used in a number of illegal transactions since then.
I'm gonna go get some management. Seems like
That
a very
sounds like
important issue.
a fantastic idea. Thank you.
I like to think so. And he's gonna hop down. As you guys are waiting, you watch from through the bars as word quietly gets passed around, and people quickly start packing up and leaving. Through back rooms and up stairways, and you can see the big office on the far side. You can't see into it, but there's this big tinted window that, you know, that's a floor up looking into the room proper. And
As they start to run away, I guess just gonna scream out, "If you plan on leaving, I will turn this entire house into a goddamn booby trap in less than a second. Now you best understand that we are going to make a clean business transaction, and you will be held harmless as long as you cooperate."
Okay. So, okay. Now, yes, sir. There ain't any need for all this hostility. As Papa Thompson steps out from the top of the stairs, the crime lord turned legit steps out, multiple rings on every finger, and starts walking down the stairs. "I'm sure we can come to some kind of agreement. I know you are all individuals of action, and we've had many copacetic times together, and I'm sure that will mean something." And he's gonna come on down. "I did not know any of y'all were still alive." As he's gonna open up the gate.
You did try your little faux prime minister or whatever mayor in Bitterpost did his best to kill us all. So consider that something worth noting. Either way, point
Gestures
being,
grandiosely. "I will make measures to remedy this at once. Do come in, please." He does close the gate behind you and lock it. Come on up to my office. As you guys are moving across this big, it's like an abandoned Walmart, you know what I mean? Just this big open area, and no one's in anymore. You can see a few people like looking through the doors at you guys. A bit of a reputation on y'all. Papa Thompson heads up the stairs, opens the door, gestures for you guys to enter into the office.
I walk in.
I will follow.
Finding the room neat and orderly. Trapdoor on the floor. It's open, and you can see that it leads to a spiral staircase. "I must admit, I am relieved to see you all here at this time."
It's good to hear. I hear that it seems like you've done a policy decision, or the government has, that's rather unpopular.
We're trying out a few things. Now tell me, he kind of waves that away. "Now tell me of your woes. My clerk says that money has been taken from your possession against the law." He says with a twitch.
You repossessed Stonks' assets in a
My whole ass.
and much of his money and funds, and redistributed them to yourself. Now I know there's no ill will in this, obviously. You were just doing your job. You thought a man dead. There was no real way, actionable way to cover the will, so the government naturally said repossess the assets, which you did. However, Stonks is alive.
And
Stonks
well.
and well.
Huh?
So I don't want there to be any implication of fault here. You were doing your job, obviously. You were
I was
running
being
your...
dead.
Stonks was missing and unable to stop this at the time, but since Stonks was never dead, there has now been a series of transactions made using his money that, frankly, therefore, his life deems now illegal.
He takes a seat, sits back, furrowed brow. This is a gunmetal gray dragonborn, and he goes,
Oh,
I have no knowledge of these going-ons. There might be a rat in my burrow.
There definitely is, actually. And frankly, we know who it is, but I mean no disrespect when I say this. It's hard to trust people nowadays.
do I
don't
believe
know
him
who-
when he said he doesn't know?
Make an insight check.
Bink. 15.
15. There's a profound amount of frustration in his person, and you were able to ascertain that he is very frustrated because he is now bound by the law, and so now because he's gone legit, and now someone's surpassing the law to pull the wool over his eyes, and so he's very upset at the fact that someone is using his old tricks against him.
We have some good news, though, in all of this, I will say. We have with us here the Lord High Marshal. Close personal friend of ours, Gene Brigg. What he does is the law. We can take care of this as long as we know how to go after it.
How much of the law is he of the law? How much authority do you have, Gene?
I'll just pull the badge out, open it, and place it on the table, and then pocket it again.
There's ways.
Oh, go ahead.
There's ways to do this in a fashion and have the culprit reveal themselves. There's no way they've blown through Stonks' vast personal wealth in a short amount of time. In fact, they couldn't have done it yet. It was so vast that even Stonks couldn't have blown through it, despite the fact that he frequently made purchases for things that he did not need, nor want, nor could ever have.
8 Dragonborn rush the room, and Papa Thompson goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! It's fine, boys. It's fine. Fine, no, boys. No, no. They'll kill us all. They'll fucking kill us all. Go back downstairs. Make some tea. Sit down. Have a biscuit. Fuck." Sorry. The boys are very protective. I've brought them a long way. I got good news. I'm sure you are all aware that things on the upper crust, the higher ups, are being shady.
Naturally.
Shadier than I ever was. Allegedly. I do not think that Gene Briggs has been accounted for in their schemes. Because we're all playing by the rules now. And that there points at the badge is what I call the queen chess piece right there. That is our way through this. Did you
I
ever
should mention,
Oh, go ahead.
We should mention. We should not strike just yet. We lay a trap. A financial trap.
I'd rather not know if it's not on the up and up. I need to remain on the
Oh
up
no,
and up.
here's the thing. This is on the up and up.
All right,
You are now part of the official investigation. You are now part of the official investigation into the wrongful seizing and utilization of Stonks' assets. Like I said, you were just doing your job, correct, Papa Thompson?
It's all I've ever been doing.
Exact, and you were just doing what you were told was correct, isn't that right, Papa Thompson?
Absolutely, I am the pinnacle of law and order. You can't get it out.
Exactly.
You can't get it out.
Well, either way, what we need to do now is find out. We need to find Stonks' assets have been seized. We know which of his assets have been seized.
All of them?
We need which account has those assets. We then follow the money. What are they paying for? What are they financing? Where's it going? We then trace out their whole operation using the poisoned water that is Stonks' assets. Because their scheme has not accounted for two things. One, everything Gene Brigg is an official by the law action. Additionally, they have not accounted for our expert accountant, Jeremy. Where the bloody hell is he?
I pull out my sending stone again and I call my accountant. What was his name? Jeremy?
No.
No,
What was
I
his
don't
name?
think so.
Jeffrey?
Jeremy was the head. We
no, it was like
disintegrated.
Yeah.
it was like Justin or something like that.
Thomas?
Wait.
Where you get that burger from, Offbeat?
I wrote it down.
My American
Russell?
BMI is quivering.
Was it Russell?
I don't know. I didn't write it down.
You've got Hobbs that you can work with.
No, we called an accountant. There was
Yeah,
a voice change.
I
and
think his name
everything.
was Russell or Rustin or something like that.
Russell. I like Russell. We'll go with Russell. I can remember Russell.
Okay. Write it down.
We follow the
Still on my
money.
cash.
We then figure out who is spending it, how it's being spent, what people are spending it for this group. Then we can find from there, we can start isolating their companies one by one, how they are financing their whole operation. And before they even know it, they will be without funds and without people. And if you don't have funds or people, they'll be a lot easier to isolate. This is what is called in the business a sting operation.
Ralph. Thank you, Luna.
You call up Ralph.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you at the bank?
You told me to go to your mansion and get your things in order. That's why I'm here. Hobbs is here too. We're working very hard.
Shit.
Bank was closed. We're on our way.
The bank's
sir.
now open. Come on.
We're on our way at once, sir.
We locked the door.
Knock 3 times when you get here. Throw a tortoise at the wall. I'll know it's you. Click.
Final thing you should know, Papa Thompson.
He's writing things down.
Serafina Capello is currently in charge of this state. I don't know if the king says he's in charge, but he's not. Serafina Capello is. She has seized it using an organization known as the College of Whispers. A bard college of sorts. I want you to keep your ears out for the following phrases, and I will repeat the 3 phrases that we know.
Yep.
If anybody in your organization says that, keep an eye on them. They are a member. We are trying to slowly but surely isolate Serafina Capello from all of her assets without her knowing that is what we are doing.
And just like that, I know who our rat is.
Oh. And who was that?
His name.
It's Jimmy Dean.
His name's Dean.
Jimmy Dean.
It's one of the
Name's
few
Dean.
people I didn't
Jimmy
get rid
Dean.
of when I bought this place.
The sausage man.
He's one of the few. This works perfectly. He's one of the few people that has direct control over the safes. He was a very capable manager. I thought he was worth keeping around. Why don't we go have a talk with him?
Bring him in.
Or do we want to let him think like use him for false information?
True. Because the thing is, Crooked Feather's also tied up in this somehow. probably
Crooked
working
Feather
with
is
Sarah.
dead. Thank
No, he
fuck.
ain't. No,
Ain't
he ain't.
no way.
I have it on good rapport.
From who?
The execution in
my
the street.
people. The
My first question
criminal
is-
underbelly has been absolutely gutted. There is
Have
no
you ever
more.
seen him?
I took a gander at him while he was behind bars.
After they caught him, but I mean before.
No, I was never able to lay my eyes on the bastard.
It's
Well,
not
how
him.
do you know what the person they executed was him?
I'm to understand that they dominated the mind and were quite satisfied with what they found within.
Who executed him?
Maybe the person they executed
The,
thought
was
he
it-
was.
was it perhaps people of the College of Whispers who make a lot of value from convincing everybody that Crooked Feather's dead? Because their Serafina Capello's in charge of them and is kind of shadow puppeting, or perhaps is Crooked Feather or works with Crooked Feather? Because that's what I believe. Probably
How could
wasn't.
they have so easily caught him when ain't nobody ever seen him before?
Well, it wasn't easy. We flooded the tunnels, washed them out. A lot of people died. I say we, I didn't do it. But the Warren Rapids are quite powerful and easy diverting and flushing out of our caverns. Brought a lot of dirt out.
And who made this order to flood the caverns?
That would have been the Baron.
The Baron was being controlled by Serafina.
That's sticky.
It is.
I can't abide crime.
Naturally.
Of course not.
Which is exactly why we have another thing on Serafina, which we're setting up.
What was that? Wait, don't tell me.
Seraphine-
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say,
no!
there's no
You
need.
need to know. You need to know this part. Serafina killed Lord Ramus, and we have proof.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
For now, why don't I move some money around to get you all situated until we can figure this out? There's a young elf is brought in with the tabaxi that is Hobbs' many papers in tow. All right, we're ready, sir. Set up over there. We'll have a couple of tables brought to you, and all of our accountants will be at your disposal.
Hobbs, question.
Cool. Hey. It's good to see you again.
I'm going to say I'm going to say broken promise.
Nuh-uh.
Someone else inside check them.
I got it.
Insight check.
I look at him real hard.
You are the-
Mm-mm. Not me.
25.
At the 20.
Let's go.
Heck yeah. Make up for my crap.
There is no moment of startlement. There's a moment of confusion as Hobbs tries to figure out what kind of promise he broke. He goes, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Nah, you're clean. It's all good. That's a test. You passed.
All right.
If I had flesh, I would have reacted.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the big reveal. I've been the big bad the whole time.
Oh my God, Stocks, how could you?
That's why I had to work so hard to get him back. No.
All right. Now we just wait for Ralph. We start following the money, and we can start slowly but surely figuring out how we can
Ralph just walked in.
cut the head off this snake. Okay. Hello, Ralph.
Hey. Yeah,
Ralph,
sir?
I need you to begin helping with the help here of Mr. Thompson. I need you to go and find which accounts are Stonks's and which are his money. If you are ever confused on which is Stonks's and you're having trouble finding it, remember, the amounts of all the accounts that you're looking for will total to the exact amount missing from Stonks's account. That is how you can find the money. However much is missing will always add up to exactly the same amount, dollar for dollar.
All right.
There
And
might be multiple accounts, multiple companies, so it's going to be a lot of work.
is there anything I should know about the sudden influx of money before it was all seized?
What?
There was a sudden influx of money.
Rames's money.
What?
All right, we did do that.
What did you do to my bank account?
You've been
Did we make-
very wealthy.
Did we make Obadiah put all the money in, or did we
You
make
had Dodger do it.
Dodger do it? Yes. You should know about that. As one of Rames's last acts before he was murdered by Serafina Capello in his own home, we met up with him in order to better understand our relationship going forward. You see, we had an agreement, Rames and us as a group. We knew the world was changing very quickly, and we needed to make some quick decisions. Rames decided to give Stonks a large sum of the money in order to better keep us in the black as we continue to finance our end goals. You see, he was very interested in the ley lines, and we had he figured that we were the closest to uncovering their truth. But of course, Serafina, ever greedy, realizing that she had lost the most valuable person on the planet, decided to kill him, and then obviously seized the assets from Stonks' accounts, thinking that they belonged to her, as probably some will that was written. However, that money was no longer Rames's or no longer hers to take, as he had given it away to Stonks. That was the last time anyone saw Rames ever again, was in that room.
A point of caution, says Papa Thompson. If that's true, then you're up against an enemy that believes they are morally in the right. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, of course,
Everyone does.
Morally correct. The point is that here are the facts of the situation. We walked into Rames's estates with Rames together. His guards kidnapped me and put me in jail. Rames then bailed me out, realizing that I'd just gone on ahead and was running my mouth as I usually do. Rames then took him out. Star, one of our friends, threatened to take someone's eyelids in a week, which, by the way, I should remind him he should probably go do. We then went up, saw Rames's personal assistant. Rames's personal assistant led us into his personal room, where we began to discuss brass tacks that nobody else can get into or spy on, as dictated by the assistant and Rames himself. Once we were in there, we began discussing the details of this agreement. We felt it best to keep it more or less off the book, so there's no official record of it, as we wanted to make it a personal gift so the state had no right to tax it. So the big problem then comes when Serafina Capello walks in after us, as can be confirmed by Rames's top assistant, and as we leave, Rames says, "I would like to speak to her in private," and then we never see him again, and he's pronounced dead. How curious.
I will make efforts to procure this assistant to further validate.
You can speak to the gods of the Rames estate as well. You can speak to everybody there. Although I will also say it is very likely that Seraphina has, how should I say, manipulated them as well. So be on the lookout for potential thieves and cavorters or any sort of liars in your midst with that. They'll believe they're telling the truth.
All right.
But the facts remain. No one saw Ramus leave that room. And we left.
There's a sudden.
Seraphina.
Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah. We left. Seraphina left after us. And she's the one who pronounces him dead. How curious.
How curious indeed.
And now she's seizing assets that were given to Stomps. Curious. Again. You know, it seems very likely that she benefited quite heavily from that and was a little remiss when Ramus gave away most of his funds to people who were better suited to utilize it, especially considering our recently acquired official status.
I reckon.
And she'd probably been having long-standing plans to infiltrate the government, institute this police force, and fake the death of Crooked Feather so she can more handedly manipulate the populace. She stands to gain a lot from all of this.
If she controls the government, controls the Baron, then how do you expect any of this to work out in court?
Simple. Jean's power is separate from the Baron, as stated by him himself. I believe the exact wording was, Jean, whatever you do is the law.
I don't think the Baron can be trumped by his marshal.
Well, we're not going after the Baron. We're going after Seraphina.
He placed
the
his
ticket.
trust in us.
He did. And if he's going to say, I placed my trust in Seraphina, well, then it's her word against ours and a number of witnesses.
I don't think Seraphina knows about this. Pointing at the badge.
No, probably not.
What makes you think that?
You're alive.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a hard throwback, sorry. Generate.
I have two options. I need to be very careful about which one I pick. Fuck. How does she know about that? It's just an inkling. I think you might have a blind. I think you might have found her blind spot.
Judging by the state of this city, we sure hope so.
At this time, you hear, "Stop!" and some tables get knocked over, and he goes, "That'll be Dean." And you watch, looking through the tinted window, as a human is quickly making for the front door. He's pretty far away.
How far is pretty far?
Yeah.
Well,
If only
if you
one of
were
us had
to,
a kit that was made to stop people.
if you stepped out to the top of the stairs so that nothing was in your way, you would have a pretty good shot, but at about 150 feet away.
It's 150
Is a
feet away.
Big fucking bank.
Mm-hmm.
They've only got one bank,
Yester
so it's got to be big.
Yester's Simulacrum is going to... What we got here? We got that spell?
I forgot there was just a whole other Yester hanging out with us this whole time.
Yeah. Yester Simulacrum's going to grab Yester Prime by the collar and cast Dimension Door.
Okay.
Bringing him within 60 feet of the guy running.
Okay.
Yester Prime is then going to cast... Do I got that?
I moved to the top of the stairs so I can see.
Am I missing spells?
Oh,
I feel like I'm missing some. I'm missing some spells. One moment, please. I'm very sorry.
you're totally fine.
You're not.
God.
Not again. Oh no, I'm not fine. Fuck.
Okay. Well, I'm missing the spell that I was going to do because I thought I had that spell. So this guy might just have to be knocked unconscious.
You
What spell were you
teleport
gonna
60
do?
feet closer, and you
was
see
gonna-
him
oh.
like fumbling with keys, and the thing goes shit, shit, shit.
Oh, you know, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern. I need him to make a Wisdom saving throw.
I have foreseen this, and he rolls a 2. I had a dream about this.
Okay, he goes. Shit, shit, shit. Wow.
Yester and his sim are just gonna scoop him up princess style and just carry him up the stairs.
Put me down.
Oh, shush, it's all gonna be okay, buddy. He's gonna plop him right in front of Popper Thompson, and then he's gonna drop concentration on the spell.
Boy. I have never been so disappointed in somebody that I didn't immediately murder. But these are better times, Dean. I am reformed in my late years, and so instead I shall turn you over to my law-abiding citizen, the Lord Marshal. Looks over to you.
She's just gonna like sidle over in front of the door.
How shall we kick this interrogation off? You want to take point, or shall I take point, Gene?
Go for it.
Pop
I'll
Thompson lights a
start
cigar.
getting out my rope.
All right, all right. Hi, Dean.
He wouldn't have cuffs. The cuffs aren't really a thing, I get.
We got cuffs.
Dean.
Yeah, he probably would have cuffs. He catches you all the time. So he's just gonna start laying them out. Like, this is like that cuff, and this is the other one that's got like extra little Sharpie bits. And he's just a little bit of passive intimidation as he lays out his
Alright.
array. I don't know.
The help action.
Yeah.
So,
certain.
Dean, that's your name, right? Your name is Dean. You can say yes. You can say whatever you like. Or are you just not talking because you know you're in shit? You gonna say
Yeah, this
something?
is whispers. I don't know that this is. We might have to be a little bit more aggressive, honestly.
All right, Dean, I'm going to tell it to you straight then. If you don't cooperate with us, we're going to steal everything from within your head, use it against you to frame you for murder, and then probably seize all the assets that you've wrongfully stolen from us, as well as completely disassemble your entire organization and implicate you in the murder of Lord Ramus, implicate you as a cooperator, as a co-conspirator in the fake seizing of Crooked Feather, as well as the wrongful instating of Serafina Capello as a head advisor for the Baron.
But I don't know anything about any of that.
That's great. See, now we're talking. So what do you know about Dean? Dean, you better start talking. I don't want to be abrasive with you. I want us to cooperate. You see that man right there? That's Gene. Gene Brigg, Lord High Marshal. He has a gun that's bigger than your bicep and
You're the
definitely
Lord
shoots-
Marshal?
Yes.
So you gonna
That's
let
the
him
Lord-
just threaten to frame me like this?
I can say what I want. I'm just a citizen.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
I'm a
don't
sovereign
have-
citizen.
We don't even have to threaten to frame you. We already know what you've done.
Because that's the other thing. You just admitted that you knew about some of that. You said, I don't know about any of that. But I've just mentioned what I was going to do to you. Meaning that there was more to this story that you do know about and are therefore lying about. Because the thing is, there is only a few things that you did do, and that's all we need to put you away forever. You have co-conspirated with the College of Whispers in order to seize the assets of Stonks. Broken promise, am I right? Oh.
Okay.
A smidge of an insight check there.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, 16.
16. With a 16, he recognizes broken promise. You don't know if he knows what it means, but he recognizes the code word. So you're not sure where he lands on the hierarchy, on the pecking order of the College of Whispers. And he goes, okay. He looks to Jean. I help you? I get to walk, or what? Because you're not just gonna kill me. You can't. You can't. You're a lawman. You can't let them do that to me.
That's not my plan, no.
So
You don't die if you hatch.
So
I
if
mean,
if you're not gonna kill me, hatch.
I will say, all it
You have
takes
no
for you to
idea
be
the darkness
legally
we keep at bay.
all it takes for you to be legally murdered, by the way, is for that man right there to put out a bounty on your head, dead or alive. I'm pointing to Stonks. Considering you did steal his money, that is more than allowed. So,
We're- We don't know enough about what the state the city is in. I can't really make promises.
That's fair.
so if you want to start negotiating things with us and like getting to walk, things like getting to walk, I can maybe organize a toilet in your prison cell. But I can definitely say that you're not getting any of that shit unless you tell me everything you know. We'll size up the value based on that.
Okay. Roll intimidation at advantage.
Yippee! 35.
Little guy. He's gonna start blubbering. I just it was the lady, the nice lady, the I don't know anything about a College of Whispers. Insight check. But she paid me very, very well to
21.
Yeah, he knows about the College of Whispers. Paid me
Shut up. If you, the second you start lying is the second that I start taking away your amenities in your prison cell. You want to poop on
shit
the?
in?
Oh, you think you're getting a hole? That's crazy. You'll be lucky if you don't end up in a box. You know what? I might even take out the air holes if you keep yapping about nonsense. So you better start talking truth. Right now, just to let you know where we're at, you're getting 4 walls. It's going to be 6 foot by 6 foot, so it's permanently uncomfortable. Your bed's going to be 5 feet long, and it's going to be made out of hay, and it's going to be right beside the bucket that you shit in. So, what do you think of that? Does that sound good to you? You want to work your way up to something better?
I will
You
take
better-
the better.
Good. Tell the truth then.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a moment. And he vomits up this leather-bound pouch. That's my orders.
Disgusting.
What?
Prestidigitate it clean. And then I open it up.
The desk too, please, if you don't mind. Yes, this
Oh, of
is
course.
mahogany.
I clean it up. I open it.
Yeah, so you find, and he also goes on to say, but he provides an evidence to show that what he's saying is relatively true. They paid me handsomely, and okay, all right, okay. Sorry, there's layers I have to undo. And you watch as he starts going through these mental exercises, as if there was a tiny little bead or a marble in the back of his head that he's kept locked tight. And you watch as his demeanor changes, as his voice fluctuates, and his accents, and his whole like the way he's sitting changes until finally, with some sweat, he goes. He puts one leg over the other. I am prepared to be at your service. The Call of Jove Whispers is not as old as it would like to think it is. And he's still very shooken. But you realize that this is likely the real him that you're talking to. Dean's been dead for about a year or two.
Did your organization kill him?
He leans forward. His face is still here, and he pulls the hair back to show the stitches.
I see. So, what are your orders exactly? What were you told to do?
Stonks was one of many people that we moved some money around after declaring them dead. I didn't do the declaring, I just simply moved the money around once I had the proper paperwork. Looks around nervously, still not finding any way out. We were told to allocate the money and move it into the Capello private accounts. So the money's still here. It's just got a different name on it. We were hoping that this paper idea would take over and we could start printing more money. And the Papa Thompson goes, "What?" We've been trying to get you to do paper money for months. It took quite a lot of subtlety. I fucking hate these people. I thought I had a good idea. You did. We just kind of put it in your brain.
Whether or not it's a good idea will have to stand the test of time.
How we doing so far, as shitting in that bucket? I've got more.
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep telling us more. I'll let you know how we do at the end. Every time you take a step down, I'll tell you, though. Don't worry.
The Baron is not the Baron. Lady Serafina Capello brought in somebody. I didn't recognize him. But he went under some transformations, and I can tell you that the Baron is still alive. He managed to get away. And as well as his young son. We're not sure where the son is.
Oh no.
He managed to slip our fingers, as did one member of the Baron's inner circle.
We have a means to get in contact with the Baron, then.
Good luck. We certainly don't.
Yeah, of course you don't. But that's fine then. So the Baron is still alive? You can
Baron's
confirm
still
that?
alive. Can confirm. He's in hiding somewhere. Don't know where.
Excellent.
But he activated some kind of magical stipulation in the city. And now there's all these strange arcane taxations going on. We didn't have anything to do with that. We don't even know what it's for.
The Baron did that. Interesting.
Baron did that.
Baron?
Insight?
Go for
it. 15.
He's very hard to read. So I would say you're not quite sure. If anyone else would like to make an insight check, though.
We can give, yes, Yester will give it a try. That's a 5.
So 1 + 8, 9. It's hard to read.
See ya.
I'm gonna give a bardic inspiration to Sia and be like, give it. I think you'll be the best at this, Sia. Add a D12 if you want.
A D12?
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
17.
This dude is riding a roller coaster of emotions right now. His hands are shaking. He's kind of teared up a little bit, but his voice is under control. With a 17, you're able to tell that the 30 plus intimidation check has worked. And he is very much doing everything he can to make the best of the shit situation he's in. His name's not Dean. Couple things. You wonder how safe it is to let this guy keep talking, because the College of Whispers, the party knows, is very good at laying like triggers, arcane triggers in their words for other members of the College of Whispers to provoke in you at later times. However, you don't sense any magical prowess being used in this moment.
Oh yeah.
But they are
Detect
subtle.
magic.
Okay. You guys managed to catch this guy at the best possible time, and you don't see any magical items on him. He himself is faintly fey. So maybe he was a satyr or a furbolg or, you know, a changeling. Although if he was a changeling, he wouldn't have had to have surgery and put a new face on. Could be an eladrin, which is like a fey elf. But you're registering a fey in nature on his species. That's the faint magic, and you're not really getting anything else. You notice Papa Thompson got hella magic though.
Oh yeah, you don't wear a lot of rings for nothing, right?
Exactly.
I got so many attunement slots.
Yeah, you also note the ceiling has a faint magic prowess built inlaid into the stone itself. The glass that is tinted is also magically reinforced with a wall of force. And there is a portal that is not activated, but in the chair, like the seat of the chair.
Does his office double as his toilet?
No. More like he's got one office in many places.
All right.
Sorry.
And
you're
only
good.
one
That's
toilet.
Pretty fucking funny.
Do we perhaps see? Do we make known, Sia, that he can fuck with our brains? Bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, see, what do you say?
I don't think he's doing it now, but be advised that he can mess with our minds.
Oh, true. These little yappers can speak things. Well, I'm gonna cast a message instead. And I will just relay everything that he says to me as he repeats the sentence back to me to the party.
Okay.
Keep watching with those magic detection eyes. All right. So the Baron's in charge of the taxation on the people. He's still alive. The Baron's currently not the Baron. He's the Capello family separate. from the College of Whispers, or are those two one and the same entities?
They are one and the same.
Makes sense. When Seraphina spread the rumor that Ramus was killed, had been slain in a mining accident, when did she do that?
She had planned to overthrow him years ago. But I think Ramus knew. And they had kind of this strange love-hate romance.
Tracks.
That said, it came sometime after the first. It came sometime after Ramus failed at overthrowing the government with his Tabaxi family.
Sometime after that?
So in the timeline, it was in between the time that you guys were last here and you are here now.
Gotcha.
It's been maybe a couple of weeks.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Did Seraphina produce any evidence of his death?
I'm so sorry. I need to just turn off my...
Okay.
There we go. I'll just pause it. It's my backdrops. My new monitor doesn't have the mutes all saved.
Okay, I got you.
What was the question?
Did Seraphina produce any evidence of Ramus's death in the mines?
I don't know.
You don't know? She didn't tell you guys what actually happened?
I wasn't there for that. I was planted here. I have not been in contact with any of them for some time. I simply got the note that once the news came out to quietly and subtly move the money over.
Gotcha.
I'm quite good at paperwork.
And so there was never any public inquiry then either, was there? About his death. In fact, the public doesn't really know anything about how he died. There wasn't even an investigation then, which means that there wasn't any evidence produced, which means there wasn't a trial, which means that the public has no real proof of his death.
We are the government now.
Mm-hmm. Almost the government. But it's very good to know. Very good to know.
I can be quite helpful, yes?
You can, and you're gonna keep being helpful actually.
Uh-oh.
Because
not sure how much more I have to offer.
well, moving the money around. You weren't told why you were moving the money around. You just told that you were doing it.
Money moves.
Here's what you.
I direct
Here's
it.
what you're gonna do. You're gonna keep doing your job. You're gonna keep doing your orders. Except what you're also going to do is it's just moved into the Capello accounts, correct? Do you have any control of what happens in the Capello accounts?
Yes, I do. I am the primary financier for the Capello family.
That's so good to hear.
You should
Can
know,
you tell
though,
us?
it's likely they already know you're here.
They probably do. They
We-
probably know something's up. But here's the thing. That's why you are going to do nothing. Just send us a memo about where you're sending their money once it's in their account. In fact, why don't you tell us where do you usually send the money once it's in the Capello family account? Where does it go?
Print the money and send them that. The money, the gold, stays here.
Mm-hmm. And this printed money thing, you just send it? Has it been used to purchase anything big? Any companies? Any sort of like what assets has this money been used to do? What have you done with it?
We've made a few purchases here and there. Oddly, a restaurant on the other side of town.
The name of that restaurant?
The Outback Steakhouse.
Now it's
And all
personal.
gold. That's low. That's low. The Outback Steakhouse, I know you've purchased the Myriad with that money. What else have you
Yes,
purchased?
we purchased the Myriad. She bought the Stacks and then closed it down, which is an entire district of the city.
No more
All the
slums.
manufactories of the city that the rest of the country relies on has been shut down.
And she's done this with my money.
And Rames's money combined.
Remember, we combined your guys' accounts into one before we went, all right, bye. Well, that's beautiful.
The only regions that she doesn't have control over are in the south. Kraken's Rest, which is a port city, and the smaller towns throughout by the High Emerald. We have no hold there. Everything else is in our pocket, except Bitter Post. And Papa Thompson goes, damn right.
So, it's all been very illuminating. Congratulations, you've graduated from shit bucket to small hole in the ground that you are welcome to place your poops in.
Surely. I've been more helpful than that.
Here's the problems with what you've told me thus far. All of this information is largely stuff that we had already uncovered based on our own understanding. The only new information you provided, that the Capello family and the College of Whispers are one and the same, the Baron's life is still alive, and that the Outback Steakhouse and the Stacks were among the purchases.
That's a fair amount of information. That's not
It's like
nothing.
5 things.
That's at least 5 smoking guns. Well, 4
Well,
and
okay.
a restaurant.
5 smoking guns that we can't do nothing with. That's the issue. It's not useful. It's just knowledge. And dare I say, the less you actually give us, the more of a liability you become to us. And I think we both know what happens to liabilities. So
You can see him
you better start
racking his
thinking-
brain.
So what else can you do for us that's gonna make us think you're worth keeping around? Anything worth keeping around.
Start sweating more. Papa Thompson goes, his cover's blown. He ain't any more use to you. You can't even keep him here.
We can't, can we? All right. What do you say we do, Gene? You're the High Marshal, and he just spilled his guts. I will say cooperatively, after being coerced to. What do you suppose we do?
Ideally. I mean, he would stand a trial like the rest of them.
You're right.
With, he spilled his guts, so he should get some credit for that. However, we got to put a trial back together before we can really promise that.
You know what we could do? We could ship him on out to Bitter Post.
I was
Prison
going to
there.
suggest we do need somewhere to store him reliably until we're ready to deal with him.
You're right. Because everything he said is hearsay, but he is a smoking gun in and of himself. Much bigger and better one, too.
Well,
I
that,
say-
and he does know that we're onto him, so if we let him go, then,
Where can we ship him that he won't be found and cannot be accessed?
that's tough.
Thompson, what do you think?
Hell.
Hell.
I've got a few safe places. Red Mine, for example. Town just north. Fully under my control. We got a couple of
Actually,
casinos
you know-
in town, and a couple of boat holes that I'm willing to make more public that stack them, stuff them in relative comfort.
I'm gonna take out the lawyer in a can in my pocket. I'm gonna go, can you go bring your client to this meeting right here?
You want me to summon the Lord Satan?
Yes, please.
I don't have
Hostess.
that kind of juice.
Tell him that we are ready for our first piece of negotiation.
Okay, so I realize this will be a tall order, but you're gonna have to kill me.
I
That
take
or
my
exercise
gun.
me.
I know just the place. Thank you, Stonks, for that. I know just the place to keep people.
I'm
Wasn't
sorry.
his whole
Did
problem that
say
he wasn't getting souls
Satan?
anymore?
Yep.
Yes, actually, we have
Now we have one for him.
we're gonna get Satan. He's real.
Wait, you
He's
shot the lawyer in a can, right? They shot the lawyer.
Yeah, I shot the lawyer in a
okay.
Yeah, no, not our guy.
yeah.
Not our smoking gun. There's an awkward moment of quiet as you've just made the biggest mess, which begins to boil away at the varnish of the table. Could
Sally and
you do
Maple.
something about that?
Oh yeah, my apologies. I prestidigitated.
He hands you a cigar and thanks. Drinks, anyone? Not you, Dean.
I would love some. This is gonna be great. I've already worked out some paperwork. Yester's gonna produce a scroll, and written on it is Sia's existential nonsense prevention and intervention, also known as Senpai. The document that will safeguard Sia's life.
Sealed with
the
her
acronym.
catchphrase.
What's the acronym again?
Senpai's existential nonsense prevention and intervention.
She walked.
It's really good and I hate it.
Oh no, she's just very small.
The smallest bean.
Died a little bit.
Zippy, thank you for the sub. Okay, a little bit of time passes. Papa Thompson goes, takes a drink to steady himself. I'm sorry, Satan?
Yes, the devil.
The devil.
The devil, yeah.
You boys.
He's real. I've been saying this.
Y'all get into the thickest of thieves.
You know, we've been up to stuff. That's why there's all this crime lord stuff drove me a little mental a little while ago. It felt a little small scale. Everyone was talking about money, and I'm like, the devil is real, and he's coming. And no one gave a shit, you know? I wrote 2 songs about it. There's a sequel, by the way. It's called Devil Came Back. I'm gonna make it a triplet though, because it's gonna be called I Kicked the Devil's Ass. He doesn't get here on goddamn time. Where is that bastard? I opened the door.
Okay. Very well dressed tiefling, deep red skin, well adorned, but not like ostentatious, just kind of, you know, business, suit and tie, if you will.
Pleasure to see you.
Well met once again. Feels like I just met you. Feels like we just saw each other. May I come in?
Yes, of course. You see, I've figured out how we're gonna work with each other to figure out how we can trust each other.
Oh, excellent.
You see, we have found ourselves in a bit of a conundrum. We are busy unraveling a massive scheme involving a lot of people who are going to end up ratting on us unless we keep them somewhere no one else knows exists or has access to. This here is the man who formerly known as Dean. He is part of this little conspiracy of sorts. As part of our agreement, as we continue to find a means of good trust and good faith in one another, if you may hold on to the people we present to you and keep them alive, we may find a means to work with each other so that we can get you what you want.
With a flash of dark red flame, Dean disappears.
Fantastic. Please sign here. This is the first page of Sia's existential nonsense prevention and intervention.
He goes, that was a fae.
It was, yes.
I won't be able to hold him long.
Well, what's the point of you then?
You have a couple of weeks. But the fae do not belong in hell.
All right. Either way, you still need a sign here. This is the first page. All this is an agreement is that you will hold the people as long as you are able, and that we will continue to send them. After all, as you said, hell was empty. You're bored. Let's go fix that. Point being is that this is going to be the first step of a couple in making sure that we continue to work with one another and be in good faith with one another.
And it says just that above the table.
It says there is no like underhanded stuff. This is just like as part one of this agreement, the devil will hold people that we send to him and return them alive at a later date in order to show good faith that we are able to work with one another on the future agreement, which we will then negotiate, being Sia's existential nonsense prevention and intervention. This is just like, hey, we don't trust you. Prove we can trust you, devil. Here's your first task.
He signs it.
Excellent. Cheers. That's all we needed you for.
I do love a rat.
How can we get back to you when we find others that need holding?
Hands you the can.
Oh, we're gonna be doing this, huh?
It was
All
quite
right.
amusing. He fell from on high.
All right. Well, that's all. Have a good day, Mr. Devil.
He looks to Papa Thompson. Love your work. And disappears. Alright.
Yep.
I didn't like
Well,
that.
weird, huh?
Yeah, you should probably really figure out the straight and narrow path. I think that's an omen.
You might want to stay alive as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, maybe find the Lord. I don't know. Point being,
All the gods are dead in this land.
alrighty.
Well, for now they are. Maybe.
What's that supposed
Yeah.
to mean?
We will find out.
We just showed you the devil, and you think we're speaking metaphorically. That's funny. But we are.
What
That's
up,
all we really
He's
had for
welcome in.
Dean. That's all we really needed from Dean.
Yeah.
Ralph, get to finding out those finances, why don't you?
You got it.
And I would suggest, Papa Thompson, maybe slow down the printing on that paper currency of yours.
Yeah, all right.
And check the numbers.
Well, Papa Thompson, what if you just made it to where each bill equaled a certain amount of gold?
That's what it does. The smallest one equals a copper.
Mm-hmm. And currently you've printed more
Actually,
money,
no,
though, than you have
means a
copper
silver.
in reserve. You currently, though, have more money in circulation than you have copper and money and metals in reserve, correct?
We're getting there.
You probably should avoid that for now, because what this could lead into is a massive run on the banks, resulting in a collapsing of the economy. So I would suggest you, for now, keep tabs on how much you have printed, and once you have printed exactly the amount of metals you have in reserve, you stop your production.
I'll give it a try.
And if you get any orders saying otherwise, tell them no.
And get their name.
Exactly. And ask why, because fiat currency is a tool after all, but what I think could be happening is maybe I think Seraphina's trying to cause large-scale civil unrest. with this paper currency thing, because it's a very good way to take over a country is to devalue the currency, meaning they can no longer do business. It throws them into the state of isolation, meaning it's very easy to control the populace. So you should probably be very careful with that. That's what I think's happening. At least that's what I think she's trying to do.
We need to find that Baron.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we know
do.
exactly how to. We actually do know how a way to get to him.
Mhm.
The old
Excellent.
friend dodging.
I don't know how I feel about. Listen, I get my hands dirty, but I could have put that young man in a hole somewhere. You sent him to hell,
Put him in a
albeit
hole.
temporarily.
You put him in a hole, one of two things happens. He breaks out or he gets killed by Seraphina and the College of Whispers. Nobody's
Yep.
getting him out of hell.
I don't expect that he was your only rat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how they work.
Mm-hmm.
They're like
It's a whole
snakes.
It's a whole secret organization that people don't even know exists.
All right. Well, slide to ascending stone.
Appreciated. All right, Scooby Gang.
Split up
Let's
and
go.
look for
Just
clues.
I guess we take a little break here while Ralph does his accounting things.
Party gets a short rest, and we will go to break here.
Yippee!
We're back, chat. I don't even register the numbers anymore on the countdown. It's just the sounds I make before getting back into stream.
He has forgotten 2 and 1 forever.
I went to say 3.
5, 4, 3.
It came out. I went to say 3, and I said hey, and I was like, it's officially just soup to me.
Aho, he.
Okay. Short rest for everybody who needs it.
I will arcane recover in that time.
Okay. Ralph sits down with his bits of paper with Hobbs, who sits across the table from him. They start doing calculations, and the full arm of the bank under Papa Thompson is at his disposal, and you see as a bunch of papers are stacked up and put to the side. One of the tellers takes it, starts another table. They start cooking stuff, and then some new papers or stacks of that, and it just has this ongoing cascading ripple effect, almost like a computer, of slowly checking all the numbers and slowly moving all the money around, and slowly verifying things here and there, looking for inconsistencies and information as Hobbs continues to draft his end of things to prove that, you know, A, Stonks is alive, B, because he's alive, therefore the money has to go back in the account, and so they're putting out all these feelers, and it's a surprisingly thorough enterprise. If there's one thing that Papa Thompson understands, it's money.
You've done a lot of good here, Papa Thompson. You seems like you've actually understood how to make a bona fide business at this point.
I've always understood how people think, and I always understand greed. Everything moves in this world, as far as money goes, between 2 factors: greed and fear. They're
Well, that's a very
usually
good way to look at it.
opposites. Fear, people start playing it safe. Greed, people start taking risks.
Bearish and bullish, you might even say. Coined it. I coined the phrase. The stock market's happening, guys.
That's the name of the episode. Bearish and bullish. All right.
What are the results of this thing, or is it going to take longer than a day?
It's going to take longer, but we can determine that it is Well, I mean, we got the money back in your accounts first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
The rest will be investigating the Capello family.
Well, let us know what you discover and keep your eye out for what we talked about. And then I said, cast message. Remember to keep your eye out for the passphrases. It's how they speak to each other. Broken promise is the greeting. You hear that phrase? Immediately isolate that individual. Contact us. We will come get them.
Alrighty.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know, we'll have the devil come collect them as soon as you tell us. And then
So
we'll
don't know
interrogate
how
them
I
at our
feel
leisure.
about that.
Think about it like this. You are saving these people's lives. Because if we don't give them to the devil for safekeeping, the Capello family will assassinate them. Because a rat, once revealed, is a liability.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Because getting anyone to believe that, hey, send them to hell for their safety and well-being is a hard pill to swallow.
27.
Son of a bitch!
And I'm the spoonful of sugar. Yum, 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 yum.
I'd vote for you.
Yeah.
Mostly because I know we'd have a lot more trains.
Yeah. Public transportation, baby.
All right, you guys are able to step away, confident that things are rolling in the direction that you set them to.
Nice.
Put in a good word for me with the Baron.
Of course. I mean, after all, you're currently one of the people getting his city back.
As an aside, some of the boys would like to have a word with you. And a couple of other Dragonborn kind of walk in. And you
These
guys...
are my boys.
What's that?
I said, these are my boys.
These are the ladies. God, a Surf's Up reference. Hat in hand, you are surprised and a little put off your rhythm a little bit because you're just getting handshakes and serious thank yous, and you have very much acquired the loyalty of Papa Thompson's whole enterprise, from criminals to legitimate bankers and wealthy entrepreneurs. These individuals have really come up in the world, and Papa Thompson has been pretty vocal about working with you guys all throughout this 3-year campaign. Whether it was taking out Lucky Bishop, whether it was taking down Lord Ramus, there's just been a lot of your actions have really put these originally just thugs into well-adjusted citizens of Windfall who are quite wealthy and are very, very thankful. And it goes on it doesn't seem to stop until Papa Tom's like, all right, get out of here, boys. They get it.
Well, I'm glad we're actually making a difference.
All right, how we getting in contact with the Baron? The real Baron.
Stonks, cast sending to one Dodger.
I cast sending to one Dodger.
So, chat, if you didn't know, I cannot do an Australian accent to save my life. And Offbeat has offered to step in as Dodger.
Oh, yeah?
I am having deja vu all the way down to the AI generated corn. I I don't know why this is so familiar.
No context whatsoever.
Dublin? Oh, I thought you said London. It's Dublin.
We're talking about London earlier.
Oh.
Now I'm talking about Dublin.
What are we talking about?
Talking about these 6-foot fucking corn trees.
It's derail time.
Dublin, Ohio field of corn. That's what we're talking about, of course.
I hate
And
it.
I accused Luna's image of being AI, so I immediately was like, I'm gonna go generate this image with
And I
AI.
cited my sources.
That is not what corn
Like-
looks like on the
like
stalk.
Like the AI, the fucking AI mind cannot comprehend a Dublin corn.
Hate it.
So anyways.
So Stonks reaches out to
The ether.
Yester.
No.
No, not Yester.
Dodger.
Dodger.
Brother, I'm alive. How are you? Need a book? Call Baron. I have some more words. You come here. Love you. Bye.
Stonks, mate. Knew you were still kicking. Can't come right now. But contacting Baron. Love you, sweet pea. Kisses.
Okay.
And Dodger will write to the Baron in his book, being like, hey, the boys want to get in contact with you. Where are you at?
Okay. There's an immediate answer back. Where are you? It writes back. Make a history check for me. Everybody.
Okay. $28.
Yester got a 16.
As a 50.
6.
15. Okay. Dodger recounts the response. And the party remembers that every time they've reached out to the Baron, there was someone who intercepted and for the safety of the Baron, and then let the call through, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The response of "Where are you?" is naturally suspect. It's possible the old security is in the pocket of the Capello family. Indeed, this might have been pivotal and a large part of how they managed to pull all this off. And if that's true, you don't know if you're talking to the Baron. It's not a safe line, if you will. It's not a secure line.
Wait a minute.
You know how I do, Dodger writes back. Anyway, do you mind repeating our secret passphrase, just to be sure I've got the right person?
Nice. There is not a response. They realize that you realize that they realize that they're not able to trick you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is unfortunately a dead end.
Dodger writes back in the book. Sorry, mates. Seems like the line's been compromised.
Do we hear that in our heads? How does that work?
That is then
He,
sent to Stonks.
He writes to you, and he can send message basically over long distance. You can you can reply with mental.
Fuck. That's it. Gene, how did you make that? How did you do that?
I cheated a smidgen.
Did you feed it an image?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the prompt.
Hate all of this.
Enough of
Okay.
the corn.
It's Gene's collection.
Our group chat is just rife with really strange corn.
And actual corn, by the
Yeah,
way. This isn't
actual corn.
This isn't the TikTok euphemism for pornography. We mean
Oh
corn.
yeah, no, we mean actual like the
Like
veggie.
ears.
Dublin, Ohio, field of corn.
Is that corn or is that a different plant that just looks like corn?
It's supposed
statues.
to be corn. It's an art exhibit. It's an art piece.
I thought it was AI.
The pictures I'm sending are real.
I hate it.
They're like 6'3".
Chat, look up the Dublin cornfield. The Dublin, Ohio cornfield.
Don't you guys have like tons of fields of just like corn?
Yeah,
in
but it
the
don't look
States?
like that.
Corn and soybeans.
Fun fact, corn sweats.
Ew.
Does.
Yeah. It's actually
Why would it do
changed because we have so much corn and so many fields. It's actually changed some of the topography just a little bit in some states
That's crazy.
because
back
it's
to
just
Gene's image.
in mass sweaty corn. What was
The
that?
thing that makes me so mad is like no matter what, the robot is like one of these ears of corn needs to be the subject of the photo and like way more framed than the rest of it. I'm like, dude, just take a picture of the field. Don't do whatever you're doing. Be like, this is a photo of one ear of corn and then there happens to be other corn.
So
You walk into a banquet hall, there's corn.
Be real.
a buffet of corners.
All made of corn.
Your hands are made of corn.
all
You
corn.
are corn.
It's a corn nightmare.
The
Gene is
host,
there and he's coming to collect you.
here's the deepest cut. The host of the banquet is Sheen.
Oh, Sheen.
Sheen mentioned?
We haven't
This
talked
new
about
user?
talked about Sheen in so long.
That's from the Fester
No.
days.
That's
That's before Kjol.
The original meme. Kermit the Hydra.
Get mad at other Hydra heads for not wearing their masks.
Yeah.
Richard.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
So anyways, I've got like locate person,
Okay.
but that is limited to 1,000, or locate creature, but that's like 1,000 feet radius.
Also, they probably have some means of making it such that even if you can find, you'll probably just locate the Baron, not the one that we're looking for. You know, like the fake one rather than the real one.
Well, hang on. I mean, does it? I have the badge that he gave me, right? So
Yeah.
I figured
You do, yeah.
that
that's
might
true.
be a link to him.
True.
Oh, one last thing. I'm so sorry. you are able to confirm through Dean that you were able to confirm through Dean that that is indeed a trump card, this Lord Marshal status, because the fake Baron and the Capello family don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is all. Just need to put that out there, because
Something
eventually
we
we'll be like questioning if it would work, and yeah, it would work.
Something to think about this Lord Marshal status. What were the exact words that the Baron told us? Because I'm remembering the words he told us, and then I'm like remembering this very specific phrase of what you do, Gene, is now the law.
It was as you go out past my lands, my law goes with you. And in the cities where I have jurisdiction, my law goes with you. But it's not, hey, you have authority above my own.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a go out in my name kind of a thing. A personal hand of the Baron's law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, I mean, if we, what's the word I'm looking for? God, we could misuse it in some ways, you know, and theoretically, and be like, well, we took this action because, you know, and this is what, you know, so we could use it to lie really effectively. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very abusable.
Very
As like a-
abusable, but that's, of course, not what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of like. I'm trying to think of what having an official marshal means for the Capello family's fake government. You know?
Doesn't mean anything unless we have the real Baron.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has borrowed his authority. So if we
Yeah.
were to waltz in there without getting the real Baron and overthrowing the fake one, he's just going to say, no, I didn't, and then it's not going to mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they, well, I don't know. It would need, like, corroboration otherwise, I feel like.
Well, you said there was like
You
a
pulled me
it's
aside.
been known now. You said like there was.
Oh, that's
Beth,
right.
did you say like there was like a paper that came out like Gene Brigg declared as High Marshal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It is more word of mouth, but yes.
Okay, so it is a corroborated thing that Gene is the High Marshal, and they just didn't anticipate Gene arriving. You could say, or like Gene.
Up until
Like-
now, they've probably thought all y'all were dead.
Got you. Okay. In that case, I'm because here's how my
I mean, I
brains
think that's
work.
still, that doesn't give us a silver bullet to overthrow the government, but it does give us basically total freedom, unless they decide to like officially revoke it publicly. Even then, it would take a while for.
And
that
then they'd
to,
have
like,
to explain.
permeate.
And then they'd have to explain why.
Not necessarily, but it would still take a while for that to propagate.
Mm-hmm.
The
Even if they revoke it, the understanding would then. And I think the thing is, if they revoke it, they would have to state like this was given out at a time when we were under extreme duress. I think what it could stand to do is like what we could then do if they revoke it is that we make Gene a martyr, basically, or like a symbol of the resistance, because what then happens is we can just say they gave you this position during a time of stress, you brought them out of it by yourself, and now they are revoking it, because it was your decree that helped squash the Tabaxis uprising. So like there's a lot we can do with there. I think though, as far as like what advantage do we have that you have this thing? I think what we have is basically carte blanche to investigate this without recourse from other government officials for like a period of time as long as you have it. Because if you do, because the understanding is that you are an extension of the Baron's will and understanding. And to question you is to question the Baron. So they can't question you without questioning themselves, which
Right.
means that their whole totalitarian regime will begin to seem less strong, and they will not be able to maintain power within. So we can use this to investigate everything. They have to try and their goal then is to kill. They have to kill you. They have to make it look like an accident. You have to die. They have to assassinate Jean Brigg, I feel like, in order to remove you from the equation. Because if they don't, we will eventually, timeline-wise, just catch up with them based on the sheer amount of times we can investigate them, yeah?
Why can't they just declare you the whole group enemies of the state?
If they declare Jean an enemy of the state, what you've effectively done is said the Baron's will is all like we are declaring the Baron's Marshal an enemy of the state as well. This means that you're basically saying that our laws are no longer are the laws that this man upholds are the enemy of the state. It's kind of like declaring your own military a enemy of the state.
Yeah, so they're in a corner.
They are cornered in the sense that they have to hide their actions or assassinate Jean. That is their only options. Because if they declare Jean anything official, then they have effectively removed their own it's the same as declaring your generals a enemy of the state.
They're shooting themselves in the foot if they do that.
All right.
I'm wondering if we can't use a bit of a public spectacle to like communicate with the Baron indirectly.
That's a fun idea.
He probably knows or is keeping tabs on the place. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I would imagine he's still in the city somewhere. I don't imagine he would flee the city. He's just in hiding. And so if we start to make actions publicly in the city, he's going to either reach out to us through whatever like small, assuming he's free to carry out actions and not under duress. That would allow him a chance to reach out to us and give us a clue to where he is, or just come to us in general.
What we can do
Showing our hand a little bit though.
We should go to the stacks and investigate the stacks.
Sure.
We can go and we can keep on the play of Yester trying to like pseudo get into politics. And we can have Yester be some sort of like political figurehead. We can rile up a crowd, go to the stacks, and Yester can make a bunch of comments of like the Baron I knew would never have closed down the stacks. He cared for this place. He loved this place. Like the Baron make a lot of like statements that to the public appear metaphorical, but we are saying like we know there's a fake Baron as like a it's like let the Baron know like, hey, we know that this isn't the real you, and we can say like we can say like yes, we can like end whatever rambling speech he goes on with like I miss the Baron of the old days. I wish he would come back. I wish he would be here and show not as obviously, but like we can there's ways to say like some sort of like a return to the old times and frame it like a political speech when in reality it is a spectacle to get the Baron to let us know where he is. Because basically, if I'm thinking myself in the Baron's shoes, he is currently ousted and under threat by this hidden spy group, and he can't trust anyone. Now, naturally, that means he can't trust us, but he can trust you because you'll have your official badge, and you can be like there as security, like because there'll be a lot of like people going rah rah rah, and you're like I'm just here to keep the peace and make sure that nobody gets violent and then nothing gets destructive. So then he can know that what's happening with me is actually legit. And we set up this whole speech with a bunch of like, the Baron is fake. We know this. Real Baron, where are you? We need to find you and help you. Like we need to choose careful words, but there's a way.
Yeah. The hesitation I have there is, if we're not careful, we'll just delegitimize the Baron in general. So even when we come back in with the real one, we just have to be.
I mean,
the danger
political, like blah blah blah. Delegitimizes the people's faith in the Baron. It doesn't delegitimize his authority. And at the end of the day, all we need is the authority, right? We don't necessarily need the people's faith in the Baron. We need his ability to enact the laws that he dictates. So even if the people have lost faith in their government, they wouldn't have the authority stands, and that's what all we need to get Jean to get rid of Seraphina.
Also, potentially build a militia.
We could use Yester's public speech to like. We could have all. Actually, Yester's a perfect like lamb for bait for the slaughter, because he's loud, publicly doesn't like Seraphina, has been critical of the Baron and his government in the past, and has had political aspirations in Bitter Post as well. So what we can do is set Yester up as this big opponent that they then have to deal with. And we can set Yester up like, we have funding from Stonks and his many industries and large amounts of investments. We have all this stuff. Meanwhile, what we're actually waiting to do is, first of all, we're trying to get in contact with the Baron, but also we can slowly start using this to start plucking at the threads of the College of Whispers. To like, and then building up our own little dissenting group within that.
Jean, there's something else that would occur to you. If they're gunning for you, your brother's at risk.
That's true.
That's all. Mm-hmm.
Yep, make a note to take care of that.
We got one trick, but it's a good trick.
Probably won't use that trick.
I mean, this is Viva la Revolution, 4 years running.
That
Or four campaigns running.
That's a good trick. That was where I was getting at with the militia. I thought you meant sending Jean's brother to hell. And I was like, that trick I mean,
That would
would it
work.
work? Yes. But maybe not.
Vive la Revolution 4 years running, though. We can do it. I'm just thinking. I've been thinking a lot. There's so many trails to chase. I've lost all my thoughts.
Oh my god.
Staring at this horrible image.
Oh,
What the fuck is that?
You didn't. He's got the bags under my eyes. He's got my dark ring.
I want you to know there's been multiple versions of this. This is not the worst one. The like first one that I did, I was like, those are SirFeffers' eyes scooped out of his head and put into my computer. This is too close. I'm not using this.
They made me into Sheen.
You say they. Hey, come on.
It's not a collective effort.
I've been too busy trying to think of how to scheme.
Offbeat's over here playing the game.
Moved on from Corn, and we were scheming.
Yeah,
I was
Offbeat
also
and Jared
scheming.
over here playing D&D.
I'm busy trying to figure out how to stage a large-scale social uprising. All right.
That's a haunting
Listen,
picture.
I know my strengths. Tortoise, Fireball, AI generating images of Feff and Sheen mashed together.
God damn it.
Vile. Anywho,
I'm gonna get put on someone's blacklist.
we
Yeah,
need,
it's
we need Dodger to pretend to be like the Baron. We can have a fake Baron, but that's if we get discovered, that makes everything we say seem like a lie.
It would have to be very, very temporary. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I have wait.
Oh, that
wait,
might be too
wait.
dangerous.
What we can do.
If only we had someone who was really, really good at pretending to be other people, and we had them held against their will and could promise them freedom. You know, someone that's last known as Dean Winch. Sorry, just Dean.
This is Dean. Well, he's very good at being Dean because he has his face stitched onto his face.
Right. But his whole job is to pretend to be other people. He would work. And if he died, oh no.
Oh no.
I'm so
Thank you for the
sorry.
raid, friends. Welcome in.
Actually, what we need. We need somebody close to the Baron. Because there's an interrogation strategy that I have not used yet. It is a silver bullet once you reach level 20. Guaranteed to work every single time. But I need to be within 10 feet of this person to do it.
Make a history check, Yester, as you guys are mulling over your options. Is it safe to say that we went back to Staw's abode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably. That's a 17.
17.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have my sim give me a part of inspiration. You can do it, buddy.
Think better.
25. It's a 25.
25. If I know how all your synapses line up, I can jog your memory like no one else. There was one other person that went missing.
The sun.
The son and a member of Sandor the Baron's inner circle of advisors.
Did we know who that was?
Yes. His name is Allenshaw. You guys have kind of crossed paths with him a few times. Allenshaw, when you guys finished up with the volcano with the dwarves, he showed up. He kind of keeps showing up to clean up the little bits that need cleaning up after you guys finish with your escapades. But was the court wizard, was the court arcanist, and when you guys learned that he was one of the few that managed to slip away.
What do we contact Antioch? And have him maybe see if he can review anything. Also, if we can find another rat, we can get everything we need from them. We just need one more person from the College of Whispers, and we can probably get everything we need from them. Guaranteed.
You've got Zelfir on his way back.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah.
I need like one person who's directly involved in this scheme. I just need to get like face to face with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be the problem. I imagine a lot of the like grunt guys and the whispers. It's gonna be very compartmentalized.
Yeah, it's the old mob scheme of everybody does meaningless jobs to orchestrate large scale crime.
Not to mention, they're pretty thorough about sifting around in people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happens if we just go
Stonks,
to
do
the
you have the gate?
capital?
Do you have the gate spell?
I believe so.
Sorry, what were you saying, Jared?
What happens if we just go to the capital? Like, not as in just play along with the ruse for a bit of recon. As if we hadn't guessed that there's been any replacement. We just play dumb and we just walk in. See what we can figure out. Maybe a smidgen
Could be a good idea, yeah.
risky.
I do be having the gate spell. Not today, but I do be having.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we can go to the capital. I think I can get us another silver bullet. I can get us another very large piece of information.
All right.
If I get within 10 feet of any major player, I can get him.
I wonder if the whole keyword mine shenanigans works on Sia with a ring.
Her ring of mind shielding.
Hmm.
True.
Because if she can get to someone and then not be able to mess with her head, she could get you close.
True.
We should just go to a magic shop and buy a lot of those. We should use those recovered assets of Stonks to
Yeah,
just
you
go
got the
buy
money
one
back.
for everybody.
Yeah. We go get those mind shielding rings, and then what we do is we go in, we go talk to everyone in the capital, like things have you guys really fought against that resistance really well, so things are looking good here. I see we're doing paper money. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just need to get within 10 feet of someone important. That's all I need. I like both want to tell you, Feff, so you're not blindsided, but I also know that like there's a little that it'll be really cool if you
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm down to not know. I'm down to not know.
Yeah.
I'm very curious, but I'm also like I'm more intrigued than like I got to know, you know.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Okay.
When it happens, you're gonna be like, oh fuck.
Shit. All right.
If you want to know though, please feel free to tell me, and I will tell you what it is. If you're like, I want to prep for this,
I'll chew on it.
Okay.
I'll chew on it. We got time. Is there
right.
anything else? There's only like 9 minutes left in the episode. Is there anything else you guys want to do for the remainder?
I think we just got to talk more about schemes. So I think. So I think this might be a we need to sit and chew and think on it type thing.
Okay. So the plan is to infiltrate, well, not infiltrate, just kind of mosey into the estates of the capital and see if we can snatch ourselves somebody who's important.
Check the
Yeah.
vibes.
Check the vibes. Okay.
Check the vibes. Yester's going to be trying to snatch someone important. But the main thing is reconnaissance and being like, so what is actually happening? How's everything set up?
Okay. All right. I like it. I'm very excited. I think that's going to be it for now. Gretchen is sent out and comes back with 3 more rings of mind shielding.
Oh heck yeah.
Let's go.
And she gets one for herself. All right, I think that'll be it for now, gang. Do stick around, and thank you for everybody who raided in. I appreciate y'all. I hope you're doing well. We are going to be raiding into someone else. We're going to pass along the love. Do stick around. It helps us out, helps them out. If you want to get caught up, you can head over to the YouTube. Did anyone get bingo? We got bingo on Discord. You should go over there. And I've been Sheen, the humble dungeon master of the Longshot table. And it is my honor and privilege to have these amazing yahoos with us today. Offbeat, would you like to take it away?
Hello, my name is Offbeat Outlaw. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch under that exact same name, that being Offbeat Outlaw. Yeah, I've been Yester the Bastard Hawthorne. I've been scheming up a storm. We are in level 20, which is my bread and butter, and there are so many silly little tricks that I have ready to that I'm busy setting up. If all goes without it's next week's episode is going to be very funny. Very funny if it all goes according to plan. It will either go completely awry or it will be incredibly silly, and we'll reap the benefits. You know how it works. It's stonks.
I am Stonks. I went to the bank. Job's done. Luna.
Hi, I'm LunaWolfSpirit. Find me on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. See ya. We're figuring stuff out. But yeah. Gene.
Oh, that's everybody. Oh, no, it's
yeah.
not. The pause
I
threw
just
me.
had
The
one.
pause threw me.
Sorry, I just had one more joke. Apparently, Gene has a collection of handcuffs for definitely legitimate reasons.
Hey,
We're doing collections. We're doing collections now, so you know.
What is a pack of handcuffs? It's not a bushel. It's not a tangle.
A clasp.
A clasp. That's good. That's good. I like that. Somebody threw some interesting information about tortoises earlier and the difference between what they're called versus turtles.
Well, you got Leonardo, and then you've got
Da Vinci.
All right, everyone, pile into this raid. We're going to kick it with Kiki Does Stuff. She just started up her stream for the night. They're playing some Helldivers. Go show them some love. Love you all. I will see you on Tuesday for Terraform. Woo!
Bye.